Today's topic's a relatively controversial one, and one that I've actually got pretty strong views about. And those of you that live in the UK, hell, even some of you that don't, will be aware that our government will be censoring pornography websites unless you specifically call your internet service provider and request to have it unblocked. Now, their justification for this, as said by Mr. David Cameron, is that it's to protect our children. Firstly, bullshit. It's the responsibility of the parents to make sure that what their children do online is safe. And there are plenty of ways to do that. Put your computer in a shared room so the little fucker won't come in and start wanking while you're having dinner. 2, just install some fucking web filtering stuff on it. Just install some software. People have got no problem going and buying a PC from Curry's or PC World or whatever, and then buying some antivirus. Why is it different on some web filtering shit? We don't need to protect our children from pornography. I prefer they protected our kids from fucking mainstream media. What about page 3, Mr. Cameron? Not campaigning to have that removed, are you? Because you're going to piss off your best mate, Mr. Murdoch, because you'll lose money. If I want to come home after a hard day's work and punch myself in the crotch repeatedly, that's my own fucking business. Yes. And I will do it, thanks. I mean, this is not China. I don't want this to become a police state where, you know, how long is it going to be before Judge Dredd kicks my fucking bedroom door in and shoots me in the dick for masturbating? The penalty for masturbation is death. And then shoots me right in the tip of my cock. And what scares me the most about it is that this isn't really about pornography. It never was. This is about censorship. And once the government have censored something, whatever it is, then it makes it 10 times easier to censor other stuff as well. And they'll just do it. If this happens, they'll have the ability to install filters to your computer remotely without your consent. And they've deemed that anything that depicts sexual violence towards women is illegal. And this is actually a bit of a grey area, right? Because if you own a copy of, say, A Clockwork Orange, whoops, that's illegal. Or if you own some BDSM, right, a legitimate sexual fetish, whoops, that's illegal too. And this essentially opens the doorway for the government to censor anything that they deem inappropriate. Anything. They've already stated, right, that they're going to be going after encrypted forums, quote unquote, pardon me, where file sharers hide their activity. So you can bet your bottom dollar that Tor, VPN, proxies, all that shit will be next. It scares the piss out of me. If there isn't a petition to stop this, there fucking should be. There's nothing Smo likes more than to come home and try and angrily rip his cock off after a shitty day at work. I mean, when was the last time you wanted to look up fucking some Peppa Pig stuff for your kids, and instead all you got was a face full of bouncing melons and a cum shot? It doesn't happen, right? It's not that big of a problem. They're just using the guise of protecting children as a justification, or even just a mild brainwashing tactic, if you like, to stop people opposing the idea. Because they're trying to give you this reason that's harder for you to argue against. I'm arguing against this, protect the children. And then people say, oh, you can't argue against protecting the children. What kind of a cunt are you? And that's all they're doing, the corrupt fucks. There needs to be a stand against it. Like in China, for instance, right, they've banned games consoles. And you always hear about these pricks over this side of the water that are saying, oh, violent video games are a problem, they make kids go and beat people to death with hammers. Let me put that into a bit of perspective for you. So, in China, per 100,000 people, one is a victim of a violent crime. They have a population density of 365 people per square mile on average. In the UK, 650 people per square mile average. Twice as much as China. out of 100,000 people, 1.2 of them are the victims of violent crime. And that's versus a country with games consoles where your kids can go and play Call of Duty and blow the head off other kids and call each other faggots, versus one where they have no access to that whatsoever legally. Yeah, it's just bullshit. Absolute bullshit. The problem lies with the fact that we're letting people bring up kids in a sloppy way. If the game is 18 and people are getting their heads blown off, you have to decide when it's reasonable for your child to play that. At what age do you think they're mature enough to handle that in a reasonable way? If you want to stop that kind of shit, you need to make sure that retailers don't sell these kinds of games to kids that aren't supervised by an adult, for a start. And as a parent, you need to make sure that your kid doesn't play them or doesn't have access to them at home. But this whole censoring the internet thing, censoring porn, fucking grow up, would you please? And also, if anything, this should be an opt-in service, not a mandatory and then opt-out. That's ridiculous. It should be opt-in. What are they going to do with the people that opt in? No doubt they'll put your name on a fucking list and view you as a sexual deviant or some equally retarded bullshit just because you want to see some girl getting railed from time to time. Having a problem with sexual violence against women, I understand. I get that. But porn in general, fuck off. If I want to beat my cock like it owes me money, then I should have every right to do that while looking at porn. What's going to happen if you censor porn and now I can't look at porn on the internet? What are my alternatives? The TV. Right. So now I'm going to be choking it to a woman in a cardigan on Country File. So what have you achieved? Well, you've stopped me looking at naked women on the internet. Right. Instead, you forced me to over-sexualise women in ordinary clothing. Can't see a problem with that at all. Fucking morons. But again, it's not just about that. It's not about the porn, it's about censorship. It's about them deciding what I can and cannot see. And I am not cool with that. I am not cool with that at all.